Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the A1 Air Quality Consultants post-game call-in show, presented to you by our friends over at A1 Air Quality Consultants. Buying property, remodeling, maybe thinking about purchasing a second home or an investment property. Have A1 Air Quality Consultants perform asbestos testing before purchasing or renovating for safety of all parties involved. Give them a call or text today at 864-619-2092. That's 864-619-2092. You can also shoot them an email at a1airqualityconsultants@gmail.com. And be sure to head over to their website, a1airqualityconsultants.com, and give them a follow on social media as well. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent ya. Let's get it. Okay, ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome. A1 Air Quality Consultants post-game call-in show is officially live. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you to our sponsors, A1 Air Quality Consultants. Appreciate them. Honestly, not a lot to say after that one. Really, truly, not a lot to say. South Carolina got their butts whooped for 60 straight minutes. And even when Missouri put that thing in cruise control, they did so because I think they knew that you couldn't come back. 4 field goals. 4 field goals, all you can muster in that game. I don't know, man. I don't, you know, it's never as good as it seems, never as bad as it seems. So to say that South Carolina is never going to win again, to say that South Carolina is never going to win again is being over dramatic. But, man, it just, who are they going to beat? You know what I mean? Who's this football team going to beat? Not a good football team. It's a sorry football team. Sorry excuse for a football team. Clayton White's a bum. I have questions about Dowell Loggins. You don't play well on the road. You don't come out well on the road. You don't play well offensively on the road. I mean, what else? What else? Yeah, it's just a bad football team. Missouri owns you. Eli Drinkwitz owns South Carolina football, and that's just where you are. That being said, guys, let's jump into your questions. Phone lines are open, 843-790-3377. I do want to hear from you guys. We are wide open following South Carolina's blowout loss to the Missouri Tigers. There we go. We'll jump right to it.
Call from
Panic Ritter.
To accept, press 1.
Panic Ritter, you're on the air.
This entire football team can kiss my ass. I'm sorry. I'm sick and tired of the excuses. Oh, we got to recruit it. Oh, we do so well at practice. Just get ready for Beamer's little press conference. Like, oh, we tried really hard. Do you want a cookie or medal with that at this point? Heck, they should pay me to go to the football games. I'm not sure I might be going to any more football games. Maybe if they pay me like $100, I'll go to a football game. Also, by the way, Clayton White, let's kiss my ass, please. Do it twice. Thank you.
Panic Ritter, well said. What a guy. What a guy. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of that. Again, we'll keep it rolling. Wide open, guys. We'll jump from call to call. I'm sure there's many of you that want to chime in tonight, and we'll take them all. We'll take them all here on the A1 Air Quality Consultants post-game call-in show. Here we go.
Call from to accept.
What's going on? You're on the air.
What's up, Chris?
What's up,
Carolina
man?
Jackpot. How you doing?
Carolina Jackpot. What's up, man? Doing well. Appreciate you. You're on the air.
Terrible loss, man. Tough loss. So, obviously, we thought we were going to be able to score some points today, and Missouri's pass rush, obviously a lot better than Florida. I don't think that we saw that coming into the ball game, and it just seems like defensively we can do one of two things. We can either stop the run or we can stop the throw game. We stopped their throw game, and we kind of shut that down a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what the numbers on Brady Cook were, but Luther Burden didn't have the kind of career day that everybody thought he was going to have against that South Carolina defense. Number 24, Jalen Kilgore, played a hell of a game for us, I thought. But, run-wise, stopping the run, and Cody Schrader, career day, career high rushing against South Carolina. Just, it's like we can't either stop one or the other, or we can't stop both. It's one or the other that we can stop. and it's really disheartening. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it is like defensively you sell out on one thing or another. Because to your point, I thought especially in the second half, you batten down the hatches there. They didn't have, I mean, early on, I thought they had those explosive plays down the field, both running and passing, but they had a couple in the passing game. But I thought, you batten down the hatches to a solid degree, and it wasn't quite like the Florida game with so many explosives in the passing game. But yeah, I don't know, man. If it's not one thing, it's another. I don't really understand. It's like you have to sell out on one thing to stop it, and that leaves you susceptible to everything else. So I don't know if that's a depth issue, that's a talent issue. I think obviously the defensive front, there's problems there, which have led to lack of pass rush, which have led to the issues in the secondary, the long explosive pass plays, and I think you got exposed in the running game today. So I don't know, man. I don't know where the answers come. I think this is pretty much I think this is a pretty porous defense all the way around, my honest opinion. So I don't know where you get answers, honestly.
Yeah. And here's another one, dude. This is it's not really a parting shot, but it's a brutally honest comment. I noticed in the last 30, 45 seconds of the game, Shane Beamer had his son out there at sidelines with him. Dude, this is football. It's serious. This is not daycare. We need to treat it as such. Spurs up to my toes up still, buddy.
Carolina Jackpot, you're the man. I appreciate it.
Man.
Yeah,
Rock on, Chris.
Yeah, keep on the great work, man. I appreciate you. Great to hear from Carolina Jackpot. How about that? Yeah, guys, just a brutal game, an abysmal game all the way around. I'll just say Beamer having his kid out there again. That's one of those things that we only care about because South Carolina lost, right? I mean, it's if the Gamecocks win the football game, nobody cares. But when you lose, everything is under scrutiny, and sure enough. So here we go.
Call from
Dylan from Tuscaloosa.
Dylan, what's going on, man? You're on the air.
Hello?
Going once. Yep, you're on the air.
Oh, all right. Sounds good. Yeah, so first off, thank you for having this platform so that we can air our frustrations after the loss. I'll try to make this quick. I wrote it in my notes app. So I'm watching this game, as I said, from Tuscaloosa. I have two games on TV. One is South Carolina, one is Alabama. Okay? Same play happens in both games where around the 20-yard line, the kick return or the punt returner goes for the fair catch, and ball goes over their head, ends up at the 1-yard line. In the Bama game, if you look at Nick Saban's reaction, they're up by 14 at this point. In the fourth quarter, they're going to win the game, and he is screaming his ass off at his player for not making that play. That's big. We don't have a coach right now that gets fired up at the players during the game. That's something that, in my humble opinion, we need. We see it from Kirby. We see it from all the best coaches in football. Year 3 right now of the program. Are we in a better spot as we were under Will Muschamp? I remember year 3. I think at that point we had a better record in year 3 than we do now. And aside from our 2 wins against Clemson and Tennessee, we were disappointed with last year. Before after we got our ass whooped by Florida 38-6. So that's another thing. Again, I always see these Spurs up tweets when we get a high school recruit. Right now, the name of the game has changed. Transfer portal is number 1. That is more important. And I feel like our coaching staff, they were slow on that. We knew that our O-line was weak. Why did we not hit the portal on that? And so then the last thing I'll leave us on is Josh Heupel, year 3. He's at UC. Eli Drinkwitz, I believe, year 4. Okay, yeah, UC has a bigger name brand than us. Mizzou does not, But as you say, they own us. And so something's got to change. Not necessarily the head coach needs to change. We need some coordinator changes, but really we need a mentality change. Right now, we have the Sunshine Pumper mentality. We're happy with 6-6. We're happy with 7-5. If we want to get to the top, even if you're up or down and your player makes a mistake, you got to give it to him. And the best coaches are doing that. I appreciate you taking my call.
I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. And congrats, by the way, to the Crimson Tide. Big win for Bama. They came back, I think, 30 unanswered in that game. Somebody commented, by the way, and said, Chris, you talk a lot about, bringing the heat to Satterfield, to Clayton White. Why not bring the heat to Shane Beamer? And, I mean, I most certainly have. I'm not going to sit here and come on post-game and say fire Shane Beamer, but absolutely, guys, Shane Beamer should be held accountable. Like, when you look at the offensive line, for example, and you say to yourself, God, the offensive line is terrible. You look at the secondary. God, the secondary. We lack depth here. We lack depth there. Who's in charge of putting the roster together? This is Shane Beamer's football team, man. So at the end of the day, like, I think we use coordinators as scapegoats, right? And there need to be changes there. Like Marcus Satterfield, that was an obvious, needed to get him out of there. I think Clayton White, I think there needs to be some new blood there as well. But at some point, guys, the buck stops with the head coach. And so I am not excusing Shane Beamer from any accountability. I mean, this is Shane Beamer's football team. I have been very critical of Shane Beamer, especially throughout this week with the whole kicking the cooler thing and the post-game antics and what have you. Like, everyone should be held accountable. I do my very best to do that. So make no mistake, I think Shane Beamer deserves as much blame as anybody because this is his football team at the end of the day. You're either coaching it or you are allowing it to happen. Watch South Carolina football play. Take that into consideration and think about that for a while. All right, let's open up back the phone lines, guys. We'll get back to your calls. I know many of you are trying to chime in. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Phone lines are once again open. Guys, again, thank you so much. I'm sure there's many of you out there. If you're not subscribed, if you're on YouTube right now, hit the
Jared from Cane
subscribe
Bay.
button. Cane Bay, what's going on? You're on the air. Cane Bay going once.
Hey, this is Kristen from Cane Bay.
What's going on? You're on the air.
I just bought 2 hats, Big Cock Club, loyal fan, sending them back. What is going on this season?
Your guess is as good as mine. If it's not one thing, it's another. I don't know. This is a season from hell, apparently. So I don't know what the issue is.
Listen, loyal fan, what is going on? What do you think the next game is going to entail?
I don't know. Texas A&M is struggling as well, and with South Carolina football, you never know. But it looks bleak, to be totally transparent with you. So it looks bleak.
Listen, I agree. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate the call. Yeah, guys. Again, it's one of those things. Like, is it overreaction to say South Carolina's never going to win again? Like, sure, but man.
Call from
Ram Roof Repair and Renovation.
What's going on? You're on the air.
What's up, Chris? I just think we're having some poor evaluation of players. We've heard all along Nick wasn't, ready all along to come up. Had the 2 longest plays of the game. He's easily ready, in my opinion. Number one, and number two, not calling any players out, but saw injuries on the line, and all of a sudden they started blocking on a little bit better towards the end in some series there. Don't know what happened there either. So it just looks like some poor coaching to me. I know we have some deficiencies in places, but there's a lot of poor coaching going on. That's pretty much what my point is.
Hey, I appreciate the call, my man, and I would tell you this. I think he makes a good point. I mean, listen, when you're playing as poorly as South Carolina is, guys, it's also like when it's week 8, game 7, right? Week 8, game 7. I mean, let me ask you this. Have guys developed at all? Has this team gotten better from week 1 to week 8? I think it's debatable. I really do. Guys, phone lines open once again. Appreciate those calling in, by the way. Great stuff, man. I appreciate the engagement, the banter. Again, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube, The Spurs Up Show, be sure to do so. We do this every single day, Monday through Friday. Really good stuff. Here we go.
Call from
Will Collins.
Will Collins, you're on the air. What's going on?
What's going on, Chris? How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Appreciate you asking.
Yeah, man. Love the show, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
That previous caller, man, was on point. Dude, if Clayton White is not gone after this game or at the end of this year, and Hardesty is not gone, after this, then I don't honestly see Beamer making it to the end of his contract. But at the same time, it's like, it's frustrating because it's like, you know, we straight up, we're dog shit on defense. We suck. I mean, there's no way around it. The offensive line is beat up, and you know, I'm not sure if it's you know, we got recruits coming in, and do you think it's an issue where it's Clayton White calling plays? Do you think we just don't have the recruits or the players to run the scheme that he's trying to run? Do you think if we got rid of Clayton White, we would hold on to Dylan Stewart and other defensive players that we're trying to recruit? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think the 4-2-5 is where it's at. I think we need to run a 4-3 defense, and that's just my perspective, man. I mean, hell, I saw where DJ Swearinger and Savell Newton and Mike Davis are all calling out this defensive coordinator and saying what they need to do, and I'm just like, man, I'd love to see DJ Swearinger on the sideline coaching our defense, or even hell, coaching our DBs, because quite frankly, they're getting cooked. And I'll hang up and take the comments, man. Thanks for calling.
Well, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you. And I'll say this. That's why there's no point in firing Clayton White midseason, because unlike offensively, where I think it's very easy to change your scheme and simplify things, what have you, like you're in a 4-2-5. I don't think you're all of a sudden reinventing yourself from 4-2-5 to 4-3 midseason, or even 3-4, what have you. You know, I want to go to the point that he started with Shane Beamer. And listen, this is just calling it what it is. And you can get butthurt about this. You can say, I'm going to just lay it out for you. In this current day of college football, you don't get 5, 6, 7 years to figure it out. Look at Sam Pittman at Arkansas. Sam Pittman at Arkansas is Shane Beamer at South Carolina, right? In the sense that he's an Arkansas guy. He's beloved. Like, fans couldn't believe, they wouldn't listen to he may not be here at some point. No coach is immune to the effects of losing. And so you may think it sounds crazy, but I tell you, you go 4-8, even if you go 5-7, and you do it again next year, it's a lot easier to say be patient than it is to do it. And so I'm just saying, guys, something's got to change. Something, there's got to be some progression. There's got to be something. There's got to be something changed. Because Shane Beamer, I think he'll get to 2025, but if this program's still floating around 5-7, 6-6, what have you, I think 2025 could be his last. I think Gamecock fans are tired of putting up with 6-6, especially with NIL being such a priority, and I think fans, at least from the fan perspective, by 2025, if it's not kind of starting to click, no coach is immune to the effects of losing. Now, again, help's on the way, but I think that's the reality. We'll open the phone lines back up, 843-790-3377. And again, some of y'all can get upset. You hate hearing about Shane Beamer. That's just the reality, man. That's the reality of college football. You don't get more than 5 years to get a program off the 6-6 ledge. So, you know, whether you like it or not, that's the reality of it.
Matt J. from Myrtle Beach.
Matt, you're on the air.
Chris, Matt from Myrtle Beach, man. Hope all's well. Agree with everything everyone's saying, man. The defense, we know the problems. My question is, at what point do you think Rattler's camp says, man, we're getting killed out here every week. Let's shut it down and let's just get ready for the draft. I mean, you look at getting hurt on the kickoff. I mean, at this point, we're 7 games in. We're 2-5. I mean, we're not getting better. Like, even the miraculous games against Kentucky and Clemson into the year, I mean, does it really improve it that much more? Just want to hear what you think about that.
I appreciate the call, man. I think Shane Beamer will play this season. Or, excuse me, Shane Beamer. I think Spencer Rattler, I don't see him opting out. I just think, from what I can tell, I mean, I don't know him, but seems like a gamer, seems like a guy who wants to help his team, seems like a guy who wants to help the team. Like, if he wasn't going to opt out last year, and I know he had a lot to play for, but I don't see Rattler doing that. By the way, somebody commented here earlier about Sean somebody, I missed the comment, but saying that I've defended you forever. You're a toxic fan. Let me make it very clear. I'm not saying that Shane Beamer should go. I'm not saying, listen, Shane Beamer's the head coach for South Carolina. I'm not saying fire Shane Beamer in the slightest. What I am telling you is that if it's year 5 and it's the same thing as what we're seeing now, like it or not, there's going to be a conversation. There is. So you want to call me toxic, what have you? Like, listen, Sean or whoever, like, I don't need you to back me, so don't threaten me with that bullshit. Let's keep it rolling. Okay, phone line's open. 843-790-3377. Don't give me that nonsense. Don't give me that nonsense, man. I call a spade a spade. I call it as I see it. That hurts your feelings. Get the fuck out. Just not in the mood, man. Just not in the mood. Just not in the mood. So, just not in the mood. Here we go.
Call from
TJ, Big Cock Club, Cane Bay.
TJ, you're on the air.
Hey, see, Philly. Hey, you know I like to call in weekly from Cane Bay. Hey, I got a question for you. I guess I got 2. The first one is, with Laurel Sellers coming in next year, what do we have to look forward to? I mean, I think we know this is going to be a disappointing year. So what do we have to look forward to? The second is, where's Battle at? Haven't heard him call yet.
I appreciate the call, man. What do we have to look forward to? By the way, Cane Bay, shout out to them. I think you've got to look forward to a talent, a great talent. That it's more about the offensive line, right? I think you more so have to look forward to Big Trouba Balade and Trovon Bowe and Shivers and Cam Pringle and Josiah Thompson and these guys blocking for him. And then you have Lenoris Sellers, who's an elite athlete who has got a big arm. I think you have a lot to look forward to in that regard. But, the reality is next year you're going to be playing a guy who is a redshirt freshman who has no experience. So that'll be a new challenge for Dabble Loggins. Here we go. T-Buck, you're on the air.
Hey, Chris, what's up, man? Dude, you said it all. I mean, at the end of the day, Beamer's got to make some damn calls. These field goals ain't going to work. We got to get Mario more involved. Everything you say, And then, hey, Cane Bay, stand up. But dadgum, where the hell is Battle?
We got to find back, dude. Cane Bay just blows up the phone lines. I appreciate Cane Bay. Yeah, the amount of field goals, there were some times there where I think you probably should have gone for it. I guess hindsight's 20/20, but at some point in the second half, I think you got to look at the flow of the game and understand, like, okay, we're not stopping them, and we need a momentum-changing type of play. But dude, like that game was over at 24-0. That game was over. That game was flat out over. So, I feel like there's no point. Like, what positives can you take away from this game? I don't think any.
Call from
RJ.
What's up, man? You're on the air.
What's up, dude? Hope your night's going better than mine, man. I'm over here drinking some tequila, trying to drown my sorrows away, bro. What is that offensive line doing, bro? Dang.
Not blocking. It's ugly. It's very ugly.
Dude, every play, Rattler's getting rattled, baby. I'm over here looking at this game like, dang. Dude, they've beat us 3 times in a row. And honestly, I'm starting to even think, like, we ain't even rivals like that. Like, come on, we got to put some hurting on someone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tough night, man. Just a tough night all the way around. It was brutal to watch.
I'm going to cry myself to sleep, baby. But take it easy, man.
Hey, I hear you, man. Take it easy on that tequila, man. I appreciate you. Really good stuff. We'll keep it rolling, y'all. All your calls, 843-790-3377. Again, guys, I want to reinforce that I'm a fan of Shane Beamer. I'm a believer in Shane Beamer. I wouldn't put the man's name on merchandise if I didn't think he was worth a damn. But, Shane Beamer is not immune to the effects of losing. And when you're losing games and you're paid $6.5 million, everything is and should be under scrutiny, bottom line.
Call from
For your enthusiasm.
Bryce, what's going on, man? You're on the air.
Bro, what's up, man? It's your boy, Spur Your Enthusiasm. Hey, man, did you say them refs were cheating?
I don't know. I didn't see a lot of refs cheating. Did you?
Bro, I own every fucking play, man. Gotta fucking win anyway, man. I sell t-shirts, man. Just wouldn't even close.
Oh, man. Yeah, I sell
Where did
T-shirts
we
too. This
become-
results like that are bad for the selling T-shirt business. That is for sure.
Bro, it's a fan base, man. Fans in everywhere just shook, man. It's fans like us. For you guys who just give up on Beamer, don't have no joy, don't eat hot dogs, everything, man. You guys suck.
Well said, Bryce. Well said, my friend. I appreciate you.
Bro, 5-0 for the rest of the season.
5-0. That's it. To the moon. To the moon. What a call. By the way, that was not our friend Spur Your Enthusiasm. I don't think so. Just FYI. I know Spur Your Enthusiasm's in the chat right now. I don't think that's him. I think that was somebody playing some games, but you got to admit that was pretty funny. Let's see. I'm just looking at the stats here. Mario Anderson ends up finishing the game with 68 rushing yards.
Call from
Chris Killips.
What's going on, man? You're on the air.
Find some joy. Justice for Lauren. Justice for Lauren. Justice for Lauren.
Find some joy. I don't know what the other part he was saying was. Yeah, I don't know. Find some joy indeed. Find some joy. We'll keep it rolling, guys. 843-790-3377. I don't know what he was saying there in the second half of that. I have no idea. Anyways, all right, cool. A lot of 864.
call from
Ryan.
Ryan, you're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, Chris, man? Been a long-time supporter. Love your show. I've been a Gamecock fan for a long time, and it's really starting to get really frustrating. Watching this over and over. I mean, what's keeping them from letting Clayton White go already? I mean, why wait till the end of the season?
You know, let me just put it to you this way: if Shane Beamer didn't fire Marcus Satterfield midseason, I don't think he's going to fire anybody midseason. I think Beamer is someone who is loyal to his guys, as excruciating as that is to hear. I think he would rather do anything else than fire someone on his staff midseason. That's just my honest evaluation of it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I appreciate the call, man. Appreciate what you do, and have a good one.
Hey, man, appreciate you. Thanks so much. We'll keep it rolling, guys. Again, I don't think, and I don't know how much it helps you, again, like I said, because you've got to completely reinvent the scheme from, and Clayton White's thing is 4-2-5, right? And you fire him, and is somebody else out there? And the thing is, you recruit to that. You recruit to a 4-2-5. So I don't see it happening.
Phil.
What's up, man? You're on the air.
What's going on, Chris? Hey, listen, a couple points just about Shane overall, and to your point that Buck stops with him. There was a couple of so the first drive we get, right, to open the game, we hold Missouri, go 3 and out, we get the ball, we start marching downfield, right? We get in like a 3rd and 8, I don't want to say like 28 or so, and we get sacked, and Spencer gets like a 12-yard loss. You've got Simon on the crossing route, sort of kind of like having Trey Knox on that rub route where we had to settle for 3 in the second half. But that kind of goes to my point. Special teams have not been special. So far, the coordinators have not been great. Clayton White hire has been masked by turnovers and some breaks on special teams, but obviously you can't rely on that forever. So my point is this: if Shane's going to be a CEO head coach, I think he has to take over special teams and hire another full-time assistant to coach another position group. The other thing is on that opening drive that I referenced earlier, I said, I'll change my TV, 2-down territory, 3rd and 8. Look, you got 2 plays. You're on the road. You can't settle for 3. And the same fucking thing happened in the second half. I mean, and to your point, if you're saying, okay, hindsight, well, it was 0-0 at that point. So you missed the field goal because you got sacked, right? And then they go score a touchdown. It's a 10-point swing. But then they score 21 straight, 24, something like that. And Missouri basically gives you a turnover with the dropped punt. And Tyshawn Russell drops what would have been a touchdown. But again, you get sacked. Like this this game is not all on the defense, honestly. This is on Shane's game plan and Dowell Loggins. I'm starting to question Loggins' hire because Missouri had 8 sacks or 6 sacks, 8 tackles for loss. We had 0 sacks. And it doesn't take a genius to say, roll the pocket, get it, do something different, because 3 times all 3 second half field goals all could have been 2-down territory. It was like 3rd and 8, 3rd and 5, whatever. And then you're getting sacked to where you don't even have a chance. Hell, running it for 0 gain with Juju would have at least still given you a chance to make a conversion. So, I look at that as just straight up coaching. I look at that as just game management, gut feel. And, to your point, Shane's going to have to do something, because the CEO head coach is not working anymore. It's not working at Arkansas like we thought it was in the COVID year and maybe year 2. It's not working here, obviously, because he can't hire anyone. And there was that rumor about no one wants to work for Shane. So if he wants to hold on to the recruits that we have and any momentum that he's built, it's quickly dwindling, especially when NIL is being more, JC made the point, NIL is primarily transfer portal, but now it's creeping into the high school ranks. So if you're going to want some goodwill with the fans, when we show up and pack out every single fucking game, you're going to have to start making some better calls, because the average fan on the TV can see it, and we're not getting paid $7 million and wanting us to put the bill to get that player. So, yeah, I'll take it off, man. And I need to call on one day of the week. I feel like I always call on these. But anyway, great show. Love you, bro, and take care.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the call. Well said. That was kind of a mic drop call there. And to his point, by the way, we want to talk about defense, Clayton White, but this was a complete team loss, right? Like this isn't just on the defense. When you have 286 total offensive yards, and to his point, a lot of questionable. It's 3rd and medium, what have you, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and you're just your offensive line can't protect, and he just drops back there, and Mizzou's pinning their ears back, or they're sending 6, they're sending 7, and they're getting there. They're getting home every time. This is, you got whipped in every phase. Every phase you got whipped. Even special teams. I know Mitch Jeter had the 4 field goals. But even in special teams, there were some things that you could have done. But, you got whipped across the board. So it's not just defense. In a game that I'll say this, guys, in a game that I loved the over, which obviously was a silly pick. You had to score. You had to score to win, guys. And if you listen, my score prediction was 38-34 South Carolina. You held Mizzou to 34. Your offense didn't hold up their end of the bargain. So it's as much on the offense as it is the defense. And now the Gamecocks sit 2-5 overall, 1-4 in SEC play. And you think about it, guys, that one win was over Mississippi State at home by 1 score.
Call from
Jared Wolf, Cane Bay, Big Cock.
Jared, Big Cock Club, you're on the air.
Hey, man, Cane Bay, stand up.
Cane Bay, stand up. What's going on?
Chris, man, were we just going for a field goal fest tonight, or what's up, man? 0 touchdowns, and that was a huge disappointment, my man.
Yeah, when I said beamer ball to the moon, I didn't mean it that literally, just kick field goals every time. So, yeah, I think especially in that second half, there were some questionable decisions on, knowing the flow of the game and going for it. And I know you want to make it a 2-score game there, making it a 15-point game, but it's just, it's disappointing to get into the red zone that many times and have that many opportunities and just not be able to punch it in. So, it made that second half, especially the entire game, but that second half was excruciating to watch. Really, truly.
Oh, and I truly agree with that, man. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is why so much press made about Beamer and his broken foot, man. He could have broken a hand. I would have appreciated no more Coach Clapp.
I think he should have cut his arm off after the Mizzou game, my honest opinion, man, if you really want to make a point, right? Break the other foot. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, man, Chris, love your show. congratulations, man. You're doing a great job, and Cane Bay's never lost a tailgate, brother.
Hey, I hear you. Shout out Cane Bay. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Like I said, man, Cane Bay just blows up the post-game call-in shows, and I really, truly do appreciate that. Phone lines are open. I think our good buddy Battle's trying to call in again. He said he would burn. Remember that? He said he'd burn all his Carolina stuff if Clayton White was still employed. So I wonder what Battle wore today. Let's see.
Call from
Cameron Samuel.
What's going on, man? You're on the air.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. What's up?
I'm just wondering, I know our season is not going the way it should be going, but I wonder if like Juice Wells was healthy, what would our record be? I know one man doesn't make the team, but I think we'll at least be at 500 if he was playing. I think that would give a chance for our defense to rest a little bit, and I think our offense would be more explosive.
I mean, maybe he'd be good for another win. I mean, I think maybe you beat Florida. I don't know, man. It's tough to say because, on the road, the offense has obviously taken a step back. But for the most part, the offense has been pretty good in regards to the passing game. And it's been more so the defense has been the problem. But certainly, man, we can speculate and play the hypothetical game. And I mean, not having Juice Wells has been, I mean, it would have been a lot of fun this season to watch Juice and Leggett do their thing side by side. But I mean, it's tough to say how many more wins you would have, but it's been that type of year, man. It's just been that type of year for Carolina football.
Right. Well, I love watching your show. Keep on doing your thing.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the call. Really good stuff. Yeah, guys. I mean, I don't know. I mean, can you really speculate? And then Spencer Rattler was sacked 6 times today. I don't think there's anything Juice Wells could have done about that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's anything Juice Wells could have helped with that. So, Noah, there will be no press conference like a post-game presser streamed live.
Call from
Case.
I don't think they stream them live on the road. What's up, man? You're on the air.
Chris, what's going on, man? Just trying to figure out what's going on with Kai Kroger, man. He was on fire last year, and it just seems like all year long he's been in the shitter and shaking stuff and not hitting booms like he was last year. Just want to get your thoughts.
Dude, that's a great question. I have no idea. To be fair to Kai, though, today, 4 punts, 46.8 yards per punt. He had a long of 49, 2 of the 4 punts down inside the 20. So, to be honest with you, man, I think the thing with Kai is, and I appreciate the call, he was so good last year that we had these high hopes and expectations and expected, Kaisman, whatever. And he just hasn't really been that guy. He's just kind of been okay. He's been a normal punter. But South Carolina fans aren't used to special teams being normal or the punter being normal. They're used to Beamer ball to the moon, and it just hasn't been that. So phone lines are back open, guys. Thank you all so much for waiting patiently. If you are trying to call in, continue to blow up the phone lines. 843-790-3377. Just looking at the numbers, by the way, looking at the stats, leading receiver Trey Knox, 5 for 32. We'll make a play 3 for 44. Dak Joyner, 3 for 22.
Call from Lexi, 9-year-old super to accept. Press 1.
Lexi, you're on the air.
I am 9 years old, and I hope by the time I graduate, they will have a national championship.
Right on. Right on. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping for the same.
Thank you, Chris.
Lexi, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Great stuff. Really good stuff. And I hope by the time that young lady graduates, they have a national championship. I hope the same. Fingers are crossed. The Xavier Leggett injury really hurt, guys. That was brutal. That was a brutal one for sure. And I said Mario Anderson, 12 for 68. 5.7 per carry, by the way. That was good, especially when you consider you had -8 rushing yards.
This is Bruce from Darlington.
At halftime. Bruce from Darlington, you're on the air.
Hey, Chris, this is Bruce from the chat every day. I love your show. Obviously, it was a disappointing effort. Watching that first half, it felt like a I feel like Gamecock football is kind of like going down the interstate and you see a bad wreck. There's ambulances, there's fire trucks, there's cops, and you have to slow down to watch because you have to see it, and you got to watch it. And like me and my family, we're like every week we're like, why are we doing this to ourselves? But we still have to watch. So it's very disappointing. I wanted to ask you what your thoughts were. There was one drive where we saw Spencer do a read option kind of play where he pitched it to the running back, and then we never saw it the rest of the game. And then we had a couple of quick passes that worked. And it's like sometimes on offense, I think the offensive coordinator outthinks himself that we don't do the stuff that works, but try to catch the opponent by surprise instead of doing the things that we know that we're good at. And so that's what I wanted to ask you. Is like I thought that option play was amazing. I would like to see more of that. And thanks for all you do, and go Gamecocks.
Bruce, you're the man. I appreciate the call. And, yeah, I mean, it's the play calling. I mean, again, you lose the way you did. This is a full team effort. It's under criticism for sure. You know, I thought they did some things that certainly, to Bruce's point, that worked that they did not go back to for some reason. By the way, somebody commented the KC and said, you're saying the Xavier Legette injury was brutal, but losing Wells may have not made much of a difference this year. Makes no sense. Well, KC, it was brutal in this game because you have no one else other than Xavier Legette. I don't think Xavier Legette playing would have made a difference in this game, KC, but it was brutal from the standpoint of you've suffered injury after injury after injury. And it's like, that's a guy you can't afford to lose. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that Juice Wells, you could afford to lose him, but especially in this game, you had nobody else. You have no other proven wide receivers. And, you know, to lose, it just felt like insult to injury, Casey. Felt like insult to injury, truly. Phone lines back open, guys. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in, engaging, calling, commenting, making this thing such a massive success. The A1 Air Quality Consultants post-game call-in show has been nothing but a massive success this season, and it's all because of you guys. So, again, thank you all so much. We'll jump back to the phone lines.
Call from
Fake battle.
What's going on? You're on the air.
See, Philly, my man, fake battle here.
What's
hey,
up?
Kane Day, stand up. But hey, brother, what's it going to take to get you back to next, or just do a post game here in Kane Day with us? We love you, brother. Big Cock Club.
We'll have to set it up, man. Post game from Kane Bay. Why not? Speaking of Kane Bay, our guy Battle has probably left like 8 voicemails trying to call in, and he can't get through for some reason. But yeah, Kane Bay, man. Shout out to Kane Bay. We're going to make a little road trip to Kane Bay, do us a little post game show or something. Something, man. Kane Bay representing tonight, big time, big time. Phone lines back open, guys. Where does South Carolina football go from here, guys? I mean, realistically, what's the outlook? What does Carolina football finish now, sitting at 2-5? Here we go.
Call from
Battle. You're on the air.
Chris,
we finally got you on, man. What's going on?
Nothing much. My wife told me that I couldn't call in anymore, but the damn boys from K-Bay got me fired up. These guys fucking suck. It's just only going downhill from here. The only thing we have to play for the rest of the year is to hopefully beat Clemson, who is mediocre this year at best. All right? But other than that, that's all we've got to look forward to. As a lifelong Carolina fan, I see no improvement. Nothing's happened on the defensive side. Offense has taken a step back. And then that's all we've got. Other than that, man, I don't have anything constructive to say. I will say that I said I would burn all my stuff last week if Clayton White was still the defensive coordinator. I'm a hypocrite for saying that. The rational side of me agrees with you, and we can't just fire him mid-season. That was dumb of me to say. I was in my feelings. But write it out, replace some people, and just hopefully some of these recruits stay. That's my biggest fear, is some of these 4-stars and 5-stars that we may have coming next year don't jump ship and go somewhere else and stay the course. Other than that, man, I love you. Hope all's well. Go Cox, but man, this is going to be a tough year, man.
Indeed. Battle, much love, man. Appreciate you. Let's link up sometime for sure. And to his point, I'll say this, guys, on the positive and the recruiting side. Recruits care a lot less. You know, every recruit, they care about different things. So I'm not saying this is like a blanket statement, but recruits care a lot less about the on-field results than you would think. Because in a recruit's mind, they think, well, it's not going to be like that when I get there, right? So, like, I don't think they're all that concerned about. Obviously, you don't want to be getting blown out and, like, having ugly results happen. But I think you'd be surprised about how little recruits care about that. Guys, really quickly, our friend Brad Crawford tweeted out something, a really concerning stat. I'll just leave you guys with this. South Carolina has lost 5 straight games against top 25 teams, the last 4 by double digits. Shane Beamer has lost 13 of his first 21 games against SEC competition. So, and also, Shane Beamer falls to 3-11 against teams from the SEC East, not named Vanderbilt. So it's been tough sledding. I mean, it's been really, really tough sledding. So let's jump back to the phone lines here.
Call from
Todd Smith.
to accept, press.
Todd Smith, you're on the air.
What's going on, guys? I'm telling you something, man. And I'm a diehard Gamecock, just like so many of us are, Chris. And I was in Columbia, Missouri. I don't have a problem going to away games and spending good, hard-earned money. This was the most pathetic showing of an offense and a defense that I have seen in many years. Spencer Rattler could be Jesus Christ, and if he doesn't have people protecting him, he didn't have time to do shit. Forget, nothing. Nothing. I mean, it's so freaking frustrated that this shit keeps going on. And you know what? This is the thing I'm tired of hearing from fucking Shane Beamer. And I believe in Shane Beamer, and I want him to do the deal. I'm so tired of hearing, well, it's our fault as coaches. No fucking shit, it's your fault as coaches. Put your foot in somebody's ass or put them on the fucking bench. I mean, this is unreal. Will Muschampish. This is fucking Will Muschamp 2.0 at this point. I mean, this is unreal, man. Not even a showing. It's 4th down and 2 and 3 before halftime, and you kick another fucking field goal. I mean, come on. But anyway, man, I know you got a bunch of people trying to call in. I appreciate you taking my call. Gamecock fans, I don't know what to say, bro, but this shit it's going to get worse, much worse before it gets better.
Todd,
but everybody have a good afternoon.
Yeah, Todd Smith.
I'm going to have another beer.
I hear you. Appreciate you, Todd. Appreciate it. Really good stuff. And I mean, I think Todd Smith speaks for a lot of folks out there with his frustrations. And I mean, guys, nobody wants to hear it, but that game in this season, that game felt very, very Muschampish. Like it just, and game days, I mean, I hate to say this, but game days are starting to feel this season how they felt in the Muschamp tenure. Like at the end of it, where it's just like, you come into game day excited. Like I've never not been excited for game day, but I remember at the end of the Muschamp tenure where it was just like, you kind of came to game day and you're like, yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, you know, sure. Because you knew the realities of where the football team was. And that's where Carolina is right now. It's like you're excited because you love the Gamecocks, but it's like, just hope it isn't too ugly. Like, I mean, and it's unfortunate. I mean, it's just really unfortunate. So, hollow, yeah, Driftwood, very good comment. Hollow. It just feels hollow. It's almost like we're having to fabricate excitement. You know what I mean? Like it's strange. It's strange. So, phone line's back open, guys. Here we go.
Call from
Eric.
What's up, man? You're on the air.
Yo, what's up, Bo? Hey, man, I don't know where everybody's, like, thinking, like, you know, this team or whatever. Y'all know what we had at the first game of the fucking season. UNC had, 8 sacks on Spencer Rattler? Like, our O-line fucking was garbage. You knew that to begin with. I told my nephew, I'm like, dude, you might as well dig in because this shit's going to get way worse. I've been a Gamecock fan, 30-plus something years? And I just don't know, like, what happened? Because, like, look, we lost in the transfer portal. I know we lost Marshawn Lloyd. He went to USC, right? but he's like leading the fucking NCAA in like all-purpose yards, I think, right now or some shit, right?
He's done very well for Southern Cal. I don't know what the exact stats
That's
are.
what I'm saying. And
he's done
Jaheim
well,
Bell,
yes.
and Jaheim Bell is at Florida State. He's balling out right now. Like, where's the backups for this talent? Like, we didn't even find our run game until like 4 games in or some shit. We would try to run DeCarry and Joyner, and like we found Mario Anderson or whatever, but he's a D2 talent from Newberry. Where was our D1 talent to back up that talent we lost? You know what I mean?
That's a great point. No, listen, it feels like the excuse of, or just the narrative of, South Carolina doesn't have quality depth. It's like every year. It's just rinse, lather, repeat. And outside of 10 to 13, South Carolina football hasn't really had quality depth. It seems like it.
I agree. So. I mean, because we lost Kaba for the season on defense, and I'm thinking he's like one of our better players. And I think talking him away, did we lose him too?
Tonka's still playing. Tonka's actually still playing, believe it or not. It's funny though you say that, because I haven't heard Tonka's name and God knows how long.
That's what I'm thinking.
But,
I mean, last year he lit it up, dude.
Yeah.
But this year I'm not hearing much from him as a marquee player, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like y'all, man. I get pissed off every Saturday. I'm like, man, this is just a wasted Saturday watching this bullshit product I know I'm already going to watch. Expect, you know? So it's just, I don't know. It's tiring, man. And I don't even know if we're ever going to turn the corner. Like, I think the Spur years might have been our best time that we're ever going to see in our generation, you know? But I look at Shane Beamer as, you know, he had a hand in, you know, recruiting Clowney and DJ Swearinger and all these talent that we had on the Spurs. Shane Beamer was one of our head recruiters, you know? And then his dad, you know, being Frank Beamer, they fucking won what Mike Vick, wasn't he the coach of Mike Vick of Virginia Tech?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, see, he won a championship, and he's always been known for his defense. What was his name? Bud Foster, I think, was the defensive coordinator. Like, they had a really good defense. Like, VT always had a good defense.
Yeah.
But I just see us going backwards, Bo. I hate it, but I see us going backwards. I mean, how you have a 9-win season, 8-win season, and go backwards we're gonna be like what, 5 and fucking 7, maybe 4 and 8.
Yeah, I think
lucky.
I think 5 and 7 is very, very realistic. 4 and 8 could happen.
Right.
You've got 5 games left, sitting at 2 and 5.
Right.
So I mean, you know.
Hell, we'll be lucky. I don't think we're going to beat Clemson this year. I don't even want to stick around for it. I turned the fucking game off earlier only to follow it back on fucking ESPN when I was catching the Alabama update, whatever. They posted, what, 30 fucking unanswered?
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell, dude? and we fucking didn't go for it on 4th and 3. And, like, what were you thinking of fucking kicking a field goal? Just take a chance and put them deep, dude, on the 1.
Yeah,
I don't see these fucking coaches get paid all these millions of dollars, but us fans sit around and we can see it with our own fucking eyes, and they can't evaluate their position. It just don't make sense to me. Like, we know we need to fire Clayton White. We know that. You know? Something's got to give, both.
Indeed.
I just don't see it going anywhere.
Yeah. No, I agree. Hey, I appreciate the call, man. Thank
you.
You
know, like we always say,
go ahead.
There's always next year.
Indeed.
I just start time pumping, buddy.
Yeah, indeed. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Rose-colored glasses on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you take it easy, buddy.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. Good stuff. And there is always next year, folks. There is always next year. All right, phone lines are back open, guys. We'll take a couple more. I didn't do it this time, right? I didn't take a couple of more, just a couple more. I'm improving. We're getting better. We're making adjustments. Want to continue to hear from you guys, your thoughts, your reactions to everything. South Carolina's lost
Call
to Missouri.
from Kristen to accept.
Kristen, you're on the air.
Hey, Little Cock Club.
Little Cock Club representing. Little Cock Club representing. Love it. Okay. We'll get back to calls here. What a spot to be in. What a spot to be in for Carolina football, man. What a spot to be in. Just tough. Just really, really tough. Here we go.
Call from
Rebecca.
Rebecca, you're on the air.
What the hell is going on with our team?
Rebecca, I wish I had the answer to that question. I really do.
Yeah, since we lost from Tennessee, that's the reason why I haven't been calling in for the last 2 weeks.
It's taken you this long to recover from the Tennessee loss.
Yes, it has, because it really took a hold on me.
Yeah.
You know, it did.
Yeah, I mean this entire season's taken a hold of me. So I hear you.
That's the reason why I haven't been calling in like I have. It's because I let the Tennessee game get to the best of me. And since that, I had a funeral to go to last Saturday. And then when we lost from Florida, that was a close game. That was a close. And then today with Missouri, it was a bunch of bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
I do, Rebecca. I watched every second of the ball game, so it's disappointing to say the least. And I don't know. This has been a season that'll certainly test your fandom, no doubt.
Yes, it does.
Indeed. Rebecca, I appreciate the call. Really good stuff, guys. We'll keep it rolling. I know many of you were trying to call in. Many of you trying to get in on the phone lines, 843-790-3377. So, guys, in case you miss anything, by the way, the full A1 Air Quality Consultants post-game call-in show, of course, you can go back on YouTube or wherever you're consuming this right now. But we also will distribute this via podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. You can check it out. It'll drop tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. Eastern. So you can go back and listen. And then, of course, we'll be live all week, breaking this thing down and getting ready for Texas A&M.
Will,
you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up?
Look, I just wanted to say, I know everybody's really upset. I'm upset. Lost a heartbreaker last weekend, and then this happened. We're all saying the same thing. We gotta remember we got a lot of people injured. We got a lot of freshmen coming up that Beamer has recruited. So, these guys are, his first, second recruiting class. We're looking good. The offensive line's gonna get better. But the thing I want to make aware, and I'm trying to figure out, is with all the struggles on the offensive line, I don't know how many times Rattler was sacked tonight.
Six.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we bring DK in on these obvious passing situations, help the pass protection out? Can we slide Trey Knox over, put him on the line, add another blocker there? I mean, they were bringing the house on these third and longs, obvious passing downs. They know we're not running the ball. They're going to stack the box, not stack the box, but they didn't really need to stack the box on the run. But on these passing situations, Dow Loggins has to do something to give Rattler a little bit of time. And so these receivers can get free, get open. I don't know what we got to do. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think just the basic protections up front is not working. So whether it's like you mentioned, sliding DK in or sliding Trey Knox, you would think they'd be trying those things, would you not? You would think so.
Yeah.
I just think this is a football team, man. Even with that being said, it's just when you're getting into third and longs, they're not built for it. They're not built to win in that scenario, and not many offenses are. But
right.
I really I look at South Carolina's offensive line, and you can bring guys over to chip and help, but like, it's a talent issue. Like, I just think South Carolina's got a couple of guys on the offensive line that are a lot of guys that they're just not good college football players. Like, I don't know how else to say it. They're just not good players. Like, it's not scheme. They're just not good players. And so you can do things to help, but I mean, Dow Loggins is an OC. He's not a magician. You know what I mean? Like, there's only so much he can do. So.
Right. I mean, did I miss it? I mean, were we doing that? Because, I mean, on the third and long, the passing down, I saw an empty backfield a lot of the night, and just, these guys were getting an incredible push on our line, pocket collapsing near instantly. Rattler, on the run near instantly. And I mean, he's good on the run. You know, he can make stuff happen with his legs, but, you know, they're going to get him when they're bringing, you know, 6, sometimes 7 guys. And I don't know. I thought that Dow Loggins should have adjusted for that. At least tried it, you know, in the second half. We came out in the second half with that little option, and I was like, okay, you know, Dow Loggins, he's switching it up, you know, the little spread option there. We played decent in the second half, I guess, but field goals aren't going to get it done. And at the end of the day, got to be balanced, run the ball. But anyway, yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate what you do.
Hey, appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. And, you know, to his point, I think could Dalbel Loggins have done more in regards to giving Spencer Rattler a chance? Sure. But I think there are real personnel problems up front. And, guys, I mean, we you know, anybody out there who's saying there aren't personnel issues with this football team has no clue what they're talking about. That none, 0, none, zilch, nada, point blank. Because, guys, we talked about this offensive line for months. We spent months since the spring game. We were talking about the offensive line. And what do you know? I mean, you're also dealing with injuries and other things that amplify it, but, like, the offensive line is what it is. So you can blame personnel. You can blame Dalbel Loggins. I think when you lose like this, you can blame everybody and everything. Truly, it's a complete failure by all parties involved. Everybody involved. It was a complete butt whooping all the way around. There was a reason I gave Missouri the nod on the coaching side of things in our comparison. Eli Drinkwitz and his coaching staff, they just continue to run circles around South Carolina football. So let's jump back to the phone lines.
Dave Garrett.
Dave, you're on the air.
Thanks, Chris. Honestly, with the way the offensive line is played, I don't think Dow Loggins could call. It doesn't matter really what in the hell he calls. Totally frustrated with the defense. Totally frustrated with the offensive line. I'm about to say that why don't they just say the hell with it and move Trey Jones to fullback and try to get some kind of semblance of what we had with Atkins. I really think that it's the defensive scheme and the development of the players, I don't think is where it should be. And during, especially the off season, I think we need to seriously look at strength and conditioning program. I don't know how much of a difference losing the top nutrition person that we had that was supposed to be one of the best. But I think strength and conditioning needs to be looked at as well as a replacement for Hardesty and Clayton White. Appreciate what you do, man. Talk to you soon.
Dave, I appreciate the call, man. Well said. And certainly a lot of things, guys, need to be reevaluated. Again, I'll go back to what somebody was saying earlier. I was asked, Chris, you're always going after Satterfield or Clayton White or Loggins or this guy, that guy. Why not go after Beamer? And it all falls at the feet of Shane Beamer. It all does. It's his program. It's his football team, right? So absolutely the responsibility falls on Shane Beamer. And after this season, which is likely headed down the tube, unfortunately, guys, I don't see the miracle turnaround of last year and those last 2 games. I don't see that happening. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't see that happening. Now, who knows? Who knows? But I don't see that happening, okay? South Carolina is going to be a dog to – you just look at the games, a dog to Texas A&M, Jacksonville State, they'll be favored. Vandy, they'll be favored, but then dog to Kentucky and Clemson. So there is a very, very good chance this football team finishes 4-8, maybe 5-7. Getting to a bowl game, I think, is damn near out of the question. There's got to be some massive changes made. I mean, there's no question. Clayton White's got to be gone, I think. Monterio Hardesty should pack his bags. And then the portal, guys. I mean, it's that's what it's going to come down to. I think we're so worried about the high school recruiting, and like there's some really good players coming in, and I agree. Obviously, you build through that, but like I think Shane Beamer's success or lack thereof is going to be determined by can they go out in the portal and find difference makers. That's what it's going to come down to. It's can they go out in the portal and find some guys that are difference makers, because that's what they weren't able to do this past portal cycle. They weren't able to do it, especially at the line of scrimmage. And that's their biggest deficiency. So, guys, phone lines are back open. We'll take a few more calls, and then we'll wrap this thing up here on a Saturday night. Gamecocks falling to Missouri in blowout fashion. Appreciate each and every single one of you. Let's jump back to the phone lines here.
Will from Dirty Myrtle.
Will, my man, you're on the air.
Oh man, what a game, man! What a season. I mean, I am disgusted with what I've seen put out on that field tonight, and I'm not one to get too far ahead of myself, but if some decisions aren't made, some hard decisions aren't made quickly, Beamer will then be the one on the chopping block. And I don't want him to be, because I still believe that he's the guy that can take us to the place we need to go. But we're year 3, man. This isn't year 1. And going into next year, the season, the schedule doesn't get any easier. And we're going to be doing that with a freshman quarterback that I believe a lot in. But it's a freshman quarterback and minus a lot of your weapons that you have this year. And I just want to know from your opinion, do you think if we win 4 games this year and we go into next year, how hot, A, do you think his seat is? And B, is it, if we don't make a bowl game next year, just hypothetically, is that the fire Shane Beamer year? Is that year 4 we don't make a bowl game? Is that the end all be all?
I think Shane Beamer is, and I said this on social media, I think Shane Beamer is going to get till 2025. But to your point, saying that and then going through like another season, like let's say you go 4-8 or 5-7 this year, and then next year, offensive line will be a question mark again, unless you go out to the portal and land some big-time guys, whatever. But it'll probably be a question again. You're going to have Lenoris Sellers starting, who all the talent in the world. He's a young buck, right? No experience, really. Your schedule is a gauntlet. I mean, an absolute gauntlet. You go 5-7 again. We all like Shane Beamer, but the fact of the matter is Shane Beamer is not immune to the effects of losing. And college football fans, Gamecock fans do not have a lot of patience, and they're not going to wait around very long. And, if you get to – I would say this, man. You finish this season missing a bowl game, there's pressure on Shane Beamer going into 2024. You miss a bowl game, or even if you go 6-6, I would say, in 2024, there is substantially more pressure, and I think you could argue his seat is warm going into 2025. Absolutely. But, I mean, again, man, it's one thing to say that, but, I mean, that could change because it just – if it continues to go bad and you go into 2024 and it starts bad, the seat could get hot middle of that year. Because you just – again, it's one thing to say it, but it's another to go through it and sit through it and say, what's happening? Like, where is the progression? Are we getting worse as a program? What is going on? So, it's the fact we're having the conversation sucks. It does, but it's just the reality.
Yeah, I mean, quickly, I'll add this. I mean, I love my Gamecocks, man, and I think we all deserve better. I mean, we sell that fucking stadium out every game. Almost, whether we're playing fucking Furman or we're playing Clemson, there's damn near 80,000 people in there, and we love our team, and we deserve to see our winner, man. And it's time. And we had a good year last year, but we deserve, the floor needs to be higher, man. And I'll hang up on that.
Well, I appreciate the call, man. Great stuff. And I mean, to his point, man, if there's any fan base that deserves better, it's Gamecock Nation. I mean, it's just you've. Gamecock Nation has been there through thick and thin. Some of you, listen, I was too young to remember, but many of you sat in Willie B during 1-10 and 0-11. And, I mean, To say Gamecock Nation deserves better is the understatement of the century. Because that's why, guys, I don't have the willingness. Like I say the beauty is in the banter. I will welcome most all takes. But any take that's demonizing the fan base and saying the fans suck and loser mentality, it's the fans' fault because the fans' expectations and fans this, fans that, man, give me a break, dude. South Carolina football has gotten more support from this fan base than it deserves, honestly. When you look at the product that's been put out over 100 years and the fan support has greatly outweighed the product. So miss me with it's the fans' fault, man. Miss me with the fans suck and nah, man. That's so far off base. You missed the mark so badly with that type of take. So, but yeah, guys, I just brutal night.
Call from
D.
D, you're on the air.
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How's it going?
Good. Just my reactions from the game is it's so frustrating that we start off so slow on defense in the first half. And then in the second half, we show up to play, and the game was over in the first quarter. I mean, and it's just frustrating. You look at these other schools like Missouri who had coaches the same period as Shane Beamer, and they're in the top 25. They're building a recruiting trail, and it's just frustrating. And we have a good recruiting class, but like you said a lot on your show, we're in the bottom half of SEC recruiting, and I just think it's frustrating, and it's I feel bad for Spencer. I've said that Spencer, if I was Spencer, I would just opt out and say, you know what, because he's gonna get himself killed, with the O line we have. So. I just want to see how you feel about that, and then just, is there any positive about this third year, or is this is what to be expected? 8-win football team as long as he's here.
I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. And I will say to his point again, it's a frustrating year. Massive changes at the end of the season need to be made. And are there any positives? Are there any positives to this season? The one positive that shines, that stands out to me is the fact that Spencer Rattler has, re-energized his career, rejuvenated, I should say, his career. And the other one is Jelon Kilgore has been fantastic. He's been fantastic at the safety spot. Mario Anderson's also a bright spot. Xavier Leggett. So there's been some bright spots, but overwhelmingly, and those are individuals, as a football team, have there been positives? Not really. I mean, this season to this point is a massive failure. It is. Just call it for what it is. It's a massive failure. When he says that is all we can hope for is being an 8-win football team. I would love for Shane Beamer to have South Carolina in a position where they're going 8-4 every year for a decade straight. Guys, that would be great. That would be great. Because at that point, when you have that level of consistency, that's when you can really start building and really start stacking good classes on good classes. And that's when you're winning 8 games a year, it's like, okay, we're 3 or 4 guys away, or we're just the right quarterback away, versus where you are right now, which is, bro, we're light years. South Carolina's light years away. Not even remotely close to competing at a high level. So I'd love to see Shane Beamer get this football team, this football program to 8 wins a year. That'd be a dream, truly. Guys, we'll take one more call. We'll wrap it up with one more call. If anybody wants to call in, 843-790-3377. Again, guys, I appreciate you all, your love, support, you guys engaging on the post-game call-in show. These have all been a massive success, so thank you all so much. Here we go.
Jeff from Richmond, Virginia.
Jeff from Richmond, Virginia. You're on the air.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for taking my call, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, quick question for you. What are your thoughts on kind of like where our overall programs are: baseball, basketball, particularly women's basketball, and our football program. With leaving the SEC, I kind of feel like our talent is more aligned with ACC play. You know, looking with all the realignment, Texas and Oklahoma coming in, and I just I kind of feel like we've got a lock on the fourth place spot in the East. What's your thought?
My friend, South Carolina is never going to leave the SEC. And it is because, or one of the main reasons is because the almighty dollar speaks louder than anything. And the University of South Carolina, win, lose, or draw, they are focused on making money, my man. So they ain't leaving the SEC anytime soon. Listen, I wish I could tell you getting a ring was the top priority, and it doesn't matter what conference it's in. And no, it's not. There's no way South Carolina is going to take a pay cut to go to another conference just to maybe get a ring. There's just no way. So,
I agree with that. But would you agree that we would be week in and week out be competitive with the talent level of the ACC, though? I mean, regardless of the money,
probably more so, especially this season. Probably more so. Yeah, I mean, I think that I think the difference in the ACC and the SEC is when you're a below average team in the ACC, you could probably still go win 6 or 7 games or what have you. But when you're a below average team in the SEC, you get exposed. You get and we can. This is another conversation for another day, man. But I mean, the biggest difference between the South Carolina and Clemson football programs, we go back to 2010, 11, 12, 13. The biggest difference is this. While South Carolina was winning Outback Bowls, Clemson was winning ACC championships. And as much as people think the ACC is a joke, a conference championship is cooler than an Outback Bowl win. It just is. It just is flat out. So, if you ask me, would South Carolina's program trajectory be different if they were in the ACC 20 years ago and, the same things took place? Probably, because South Carolina those years wins the ACC title and maybe wins a national title. And in the SEC, it's just that much harder. But, I mean, again, it's a hypothetical that I think there's not a lot of point in having because, it's never going to happen. But, it is an interesting conversation, I guess, nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, you think about kids that are either looking at the transfer portal or kids coming out of high school. I mean, they're looking at trophy cases and their opportunity to showcase their talent for the next level. To your point earlier, which I disagree with this a little bit, is that the on-field performance is less important, but when you bring kids in, and Bobby Bowden was famous for this, as bringing kids into Florida State and making them sit in their trophy room for a few minutes before he had a one-on-one with them. Those rings and those trophies and their opportunity to showcase their talent, bringing those 4 and 5 stars in regularly with championships behind your name makes a difference. At least that's just my opinion, long-term and trying to, kind of develop a foundation. We've got a lock on 500, over, 100 years of football play. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a faithful Gamecock fan and always will be. I worked for the Holt administration when I was in grad school at Carolina, and I remember sitting in the stands when it was 1-21 when he got there. And, it's tough sledding,
It is indeed, my friend. That's putting it lightly. It is tough sledding, no doubt. Hey, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much for the
man, thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much for the commentary, man. Really good stuff. And guys, we'll close it out there. Again, thank y'all so much for the love, the support. Like I mentioned, if you want to go back and listen to any of this, you can do so, of course, on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you check this out. Or you can tune into the podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. This will be uploaded. It will release at 5 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. And, of course, guys, we drop daily pods each and every single day. Also, if you're tuned in right now, do me a favor. Go to our YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon so you get notifications when we go live, when we drop new video content as well. Other than that, guys, we're going to be doing this after every single game, win, lose, or draw. It doesn't matter if Carolina loses their way out or wins their way out or what have you, but we'll be doing this every single game. So, hopefully he gets better. It's brutal right now, and I don't know. I wish I had the answers, but just buckle in because I think we're in for a long rest of the 2023 football season. Guys, appreciate you all. Thank you again. Thank you so much for making the A1 Air Quality Consultants post-game call-in show such a massive success. Y'all have a great rest of your Saturday night, and we will talk to you all on Monday.